are you from, Joseph?
South Shields.
I thought.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
But let me be clear.
I enjoy cooking bacon and stuff, working with flour.
This is You're Welcome America, the podcast that explains what the bloody hell Brits are banging on about. In every episode, we're going to translate British pop culture for America and American pop culture for Britain. You're welcome. I am Ben.
I'm Frazer.
Hi.
Hi, babes.
Here we are. We're doing it.
Here we are, in your kitchen.
In my kitchen. On a lovely LA day. We are both living in LA, but we are from the UK.
Yes.
I have been here for almost 4 years. How long have you been here for?
I have been here for 4 months.
Oh.
And not only are we in your kitchen, I'm also currently living in your house.
Look.
Spending all our time together.
This is, we're just being real with you. This is what it's like. So yeah, I should say I'm originally from Scotland. I've lived in London. I now live in LA. And as we said, you're newer to America. How are things going for you? Other than the fact that you're currently living in my spare room, how are things going for you?
I mean, you've got a lovely spare room, so I'm not going to complain about that. No, things are great. I am adjusting to American life because, like yourself, I moved from London, and yeah, it's taking some getting used to, but I love America. And the one thing I don't love, obviously, which was a problem that haunted me back in the UK anyway, was that no one knows how to say my name. Mm-hmm. It's Frazer. Frazer. Frazer.
Frazer like razor.
Frazer like razor.
Cutting.
Like laser.
A razor.
Not Frasier. That show will haunt me until my deathbed. But, you know, I'm going to keep you abreast of how many people butcher my name on a daily basis here.
That's great. Well, I mean, don't worry. As I said to you before, my name is Ben. Pretty simple. People often think I've said Matt. The other week at the airport, they thought I said Spen.
Spen?
Like, yeah, Spen, like Spencer. Like Spenny.
Oh, I quite like that.
Yeah. One of the reasons we're doing this podcast is, I mean, at these political times of turmoil, it's really good to bring our countries together and work on our special relationship, isn't it?
We're uniting countries.
You're welcome. So here's how it's going to work. In every episode, we are going to tackle 2 topics. We're going to break them down for you. The topics will either be distinctly American or distinctly British. We're going to talk all about them. We're going to translate them and work out the US or UK equivalent of that topic. Oh, by the way, well, 2 things. First of all, I've had a lot of iced coffee today, a lot of cold brew, which is very American in LA of me.
Yes.
But when I was getting aforementioned cold brew from Alfred's, a very horrific and annoying coffee hotspot in LA. There are multiple. We're not affiliated.
Oh.
I saw a British celebrity.
Oh, okay.
Now, caveat.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Kavanagh.
Kavanaugh. Oh, if only. Who's the UK version of the US equivalent of Kavanaugh?
Oh my God. Ooh, that's tough. Who had like a one hit wonder in the
Late
90s? Ooh, I'm thinking like... Oh no, because he was from a boy band. I was going to say Jordan Knight, but he was
I was thinking Jordan Knight.
Oh wait, okay,
Yeah.
fine. The US equivalent of Kavanagh is Jordan Knight.
So that's the kind of thing we're going to be doing in this podcast. Whenever we mention something UK or American, we're going to be translating it back for you. You're welcome. Okay, so I saw a UK celebrity. Now here's the thing: I didn't know the name of the UK celebrity myself, so you're not going to either. But I'll give you 3 quick guesses. They're in a British band.
Oh God.
So just mention the band. Who do you think it was?
Coldplay.
No. Smaller.
Oh God. And now like I was about to say a rock band. Are they a rock band?
Of sorts, mum.
In an indie band.
Kind of.
Oh gosh.
2 more guesses. I tell you what, I like them. Which is rare for a band with instruments.
The Killers.
No.
Too big. I'm going too big, aren't I?
One's smaller.
What was that?
I think it could have been my ice machine, or it could have been my boyfriend. One or t'other.
Yeah, or both.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay, it was.
I'm really struggling.
It was a guy from the band Churches.
Oh,
I know.
Churches.
Churches. What I really enjoyed. So I was in Alfred's. This very annoying. It's like stepping inside the Instagram algorithm going into that coffee shop. And it was just really funny because everyone was, very preened and gorgeous and amazing. And then there was a guy who clearly was from Glasgow, and it was him.
Oh, are they from Glasgow?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know where they were from.
Oh, they're very Scottish.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I also honestly couldn't tell you a song of theirs. Take Me to Church? No, that was that was a dumb thing to say. I've seen the band that performed that, so I don't know why. Who is that?
Who's ears? No.
No.
I don't know. One thing you should know about us, we don't really like bands unless the word girl is in front of that
precisely.
phrase. Okay, let's get going with the... Oh, did you have something else you wanted to say?
No, I mean, I was just going to... The one thing I was going to mention is, as well as you saying you're on a lot of coffee, I just want to mention that I'm on what I can only describe as a pretty horrific hangover, and I just want to talk about some of the fun that we had last night.
Oh, yeah.
We went to our friend's bachelor party, translation, stag party.
Well done.
For our friends George and Andrew, and we had a wild night that involved a party bus to a tiki-themed restaurant, then a party bus taking us to another place, which was a gay line dancing bar, question mark.
A lot of themes.
There was a lot happening. I drank a lot of margaritas. There's definitely some video evidence of you dancing to Gimme More by Britney Spears on the party bus and me dancing to Heartbreaker by Mariah Carey on the party bus. And I just have had a flashback as I said that, someone recording it, asking me my Instagram handle, and me just screaming, I don't have Instagram!
Very proudly.
Yeah, like really obnoxiously. But it was great. I loved that party bus.
It was
very
great.
comfortable, as you keep saying.
There's something about going into a party bus when you're in your 30s and just like, it's just, very comfortable seats and not overloading it. The capacity was probably 20. There were like 14 at best of us on that bus. Just roomy, really roomy.
And we saw Frankie Grande in there, didn't we?
Oh, we did see Frankie Grande. Who do you think the UK equivalent of Frankie Grande is?
Ooh,
Can I just clarify? We didn't see him in the party bus. He wasn't our driver. We saw him in the gay line dancing place. He was wearing what the Americans would say overalls, UK translation.
Dungarees
with no top underneath, of course.
Full face.
Full face of face. That poor guy.
Yeah, he's a tragic soul, wasn't he? I don't know who's the equivalent of him. We need someone who's like very...
It's just like a sibling leeching off someone famous, their famous brother or sister. Do we have that in the UK?
Someone very strange came to my mind, and it's someone very like 90s, and it doesn't make any sense. But I was thinking of David Beckham's sister. Do you remember her? Joanne Beckham. I feel like she opened like a club based off the back of it.
Or what about Victoria Beckham's sister? What was her name? She's got blonde hair. She opened up like a boutique. Louise. Oh, a name that's going to come back.
A little bit of foreshadowing there.
In every episode, we're going to feature 2 topics, and we are going to break them down for you, translate them for you, and work out what the UK or US equivalent is. Topic number 1, let us get going. This is Your Welcome, America. Welcome back. Frazer, you're up first. What are you going to tell us all about today?
Well, she's back. She is back.
Who?
And that person is Louise. Much like Madonna, Cher, other one named Liza.
Cheryl.
Other one named icon. Louise, she's back. So a British singer called Louise is back with a new single called Stretch, I believe it's called. Yes, Stretch. And it kind of inspired me to delve into who she is, and she's someone who I did think America just clearly would have no idea who she is, and
nope.
I think we could talk a little bit about her.
First of all, I do want to ask you, Louise, do you think she's called just Louise now because of her divorce, and she's just got a bit of an identity crisis with her last name?
I think so. I think she's got the kind of the Cheryl effect, not as bad, but similar kind of storylines, especially in terms of surname.
Yeah.
And actually, on her Wikipedia, it does say she goes professionally by just Louise, which I think is very funny because Louise is such like a unfamous sounding name that it's just it's like Louise. Anyway, so Louise, I'll start by just reading a bit of a Wikipedia description of what she does as a career, because I think that's a good way to get a good overall view of who someone is. So according to her Wikipedia, Louise is a singer, songwriter, I'm going to put a big question mark next to that one, media personality, actress, another question mark next to that one, and television presenter. So the kind of US equivalent of presenter is host, I believe.
Of course.
And also, this is not great for a podcast because it's visual, but I just want to show you the Wikipedia picture of her. It is one of the worst pictures I've ever seen.
Oh, now I'm just going to describe this. Here's the thing. You can say a lot of things about Louise, but you could never say she's not pretty. She's very attractive. And here she is. It's a picture from the side. It's a profile shot. She's looking into the sun, so kind of squinting and holding her hand up to her clavicle.
Yeah, she looks like she's in extreme distress, and I think she needs to get onto someone about changing that. So let's start from the very beginning of Louise. Louise kind of shot to fame in the UK because she was part of a very wonderful girl band. Speaking of bands earlier, our favourite type of band, girl bands, Eternal.
Now, who do you think the US equivalent of Eternal is? I know the answer.
Do you think it's TLC? Oh, no, On Vogue.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say either On Vogue or SWV.
Yes, SW. Yeah, I think maybe
Either.
On Vogue because I think they had more hits.
Okay,
In my, I only know that one song by SWV.
that's fair.
So I would say definitely the US equivalent would be On Vogue. It was a kind of an R&B girl group, and then the unusual thing about it is that Louise was the white member of Eternal, and they were doing kind of R&B style pop. I don't feel like it wasn't really ever talked about, or it wasn't an issue. It was just she was just a white lady in a kind of soul band, wasn't she? It was very strange.
Well, what's interesting is that it feels like the reverse of what was going on in the 90s. You know, when you had like a token, not white person in a boy band or girl band.
You're right, actually.
In Eternal, Louise was the token white person.
Yeah, she was.
It was as if they assembled Eternal and at the last minute they had a panic and they're like, we don't want to ostracize the whites. Get me one.
Throw her in.
Yeah, and in walked Louise.
Did you like Eternal?
I did. I quite liked Eternal. They had some good songs. I just remember that song. I think maybe their only number one. I want to be the only one. And it came out in 1996 around near a time. It was near like the end of the school year, and it just felt very summery and fun.
Featuring BB Winans.
Famously.
So that was after. So basically, Louise left Eternal in, I think it was, hold up. So she left the group in 1995. So they had a few songs. They actually only released like a few songs with her in the band. And actually, Eternal's success kind of happened after she left. Once they dropped that dead white weight, they really picked up, and they had just, on a personal note, some of my favourite songs from that era. They had, obviously, I Want to Be the Only One, which is a classic, and my absolute favourite, which is Power of a Woman. Do you remember that song? How do feel the power? Oh, love that song.
What's great about that song is I feel like it, as well as, the idea of empowering women, it probably just really empowered lots of young gays.
Oh, 1000%. I got it for Christmas. I got the CD album for Christmas that year, whenever that was. And it just reminds me of, I was just playing that song over and over and over again on my boombox in my room, much to my mum's disgust.
Because she hates women.
Well, have I ever told you about what she said about Wannabe by the Spice Girls?
No.
And how, when I bought that on single, I loved it so much that she said that, the beginning bit where it goes, do, 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 ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
Yo, I'll tell you. My mum said that I played it so much that the noise of like the beginning of I'll Tell You What I Want, she said it made her cringe because she would be in her bedroom and she'd just hear it over and over and over again. So yeah, my mum she doesn't hate women. I think she hates the women that I've forced her to listen to for most of my childhood. Anyway, Louise then went on to have a solo career.
She sure did.
It's kind of a solo music career, and it's a very strange, solo music career is very strange. It exists in a kind of an ether of like, unless you were a gay who loved her at the time, no one remembers that she had a music career.
And it was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, she had some big singles. Although
did she have a number one?
No. Her highest charting song, see if you can guess which one it was. I think it's pretty obvious.
Naked?
Yes, it was Naked. So she actually, according to what I kind of looked up, her first album she had two singles, and she was kind of a flop actually, and then she released Naked and that album, and that's what kind of got her the rest of her kind of songs. So she started out with a beautiful ballad. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember Light of My Life?
Sure do.
I loved that. There was a video was filmed on a black sand beach. In fact, I've got like a weird memory I've just remembered of going to the Caribbean with my family and sending you a picture of me on a black sand beach where I was performing Light of My Life. That was like about 10 years ago or something. Anyway, so I instantly fell in love with her when she went solo, especially because I loved that ballad. And then when Naked came out, it was like the gay flames just ignited within me. Naked is one of the gayest songs ever made. Just like, it just makes you want to, it was very like infamous like sexy song, sexy video, a lot of backwards chair dancing, lots of backwards chairography, which like you just instantly wanted to copy.
I just instantly, when I think of that video, I just think of like billowing sheets of satin in front of like a giant fan.
Yes.
Just, that real wonderful 90s.
There was a lot of fan work in there.
Yeah.
And she was wearing a lot of like shimmer makeup. So that was kind of a big turning point for her. And then musically, she kind of declined again after that. So
But wait a minute, she had that song which was Arms Around the World, which was basically it was the equivalent of Janet Jackson's Runaway.
Yeah, the one where she's on the wing of the
world,
plane.
Been to many places.
Yes, is that the one where she's on the wing of a plane?
I think so. Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Am I just singing Louise? Who knows? Because it's the same song.
You and I gonna wrap our loving arms all around the world. Oh, love that song.
I don't know if she had success around the world. Maybe in like Germany, Denmark.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some obscure like Scandinavian countries. And she kind of then had a late kind of hit, which I still don't appreciate this because I don't care for the original source material, which was Stuck in the Middle with You. She did a cover of that, which was irritating.
Yeah. She tried to bring back that chair because in the video
she
there's like a guy.
she did.
She tried to bring out the chair from the Naked video. She's like interrogating, just doing like a sexy dance with like a guy who's tied up, like just zhuzhing his tie around his neck.
Yeah, and I just remember she was doing like I'm gonna do a nod to a masculine suit in that video, and I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
She also did another cover of a disco song. Do you remember "Let's Go Round Again"?
Sure do.
Speaking of gay, I once, in a very drunken, like fugue state at university, told two of my friends, Fran and Caroline, for some reason we were listening to Louise, and that song came on, and I don't actually remember this, but I was informed that I told them that it was the gayest song ever made, and it made me want to be a better gay man. Genuinely. So every time I hear "Let's Go Round Again," I think I was trying to say to them it made me want to like embrace my gayness more and be like a fabulous gay that dances around to disco music, but it just like it just makes, every time I hear it, it makes me cringe and laugh at the same time.
Do you know what's funny is that there was that period in the late 90s in the UK where lots of like disco songs came back. Do you remember that Billie Piper single that she had, which was also like a disco song?
Yes.
What was that called? So Louise had "Let's Go Round Again" and oh my god, I'm gonna have to Google Billie Piper singles. And she's wearing like a red catsuit or something in the video. But speaking of Billie Piper, who is the US equivalent of Billie Piper? Well, I've done a tangent onto that.
US equivalent of Billie Piper. So I feel like you always have to kind of latch onto like, oh, I know exactly who it is.
Who?
Mandy Moore.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Because she had teen singing start and then kind of legitimate like acting fame. But obviously Mandy Moore is international and wonderful. Billie Piper, all of her achievements, whilst great, are, Doctor Who, which I can't get into Doctor Who and my absolute hatred of that program.
We are, just so you know, in our first episode, we are 100% not discussing Doctor Who any minute.
This is the last you'll ever hear about Doctor Who, unless we talk about Billie Piper, and we'll have to just mention it. I hate that program. I think it's embarrassing. It makes me embarrassed to be like British. It just looks so cheap and embarrassing. Anyway.
The Billie Piper disco single was called "She Wants You."
Oh, yes.
I know that she wants you, she wants you. I know it instinctively. I know she wants to know she wants you. Anyway, back to Louise.
Oh, Billie Piper is going to be another topic for another day.
In the same way that we're definitely not going to talk about Doctor Who, we are definitely going to talk about Billie Piper.
1,000%. So then, kind of her music career then kind of dovetailed into, like most people, especially back in the UK, I feel like they became TV presenters or TV hosts. Mm-hmm. So she hosted like kids TV stuff was kind of what she started. So the infamous kind of CDUK, SMTV I think she did that. Hang on a sec.
You definitely did. Just so you know, CDUK was a
she
great
did.
Saturday morning kids TV program called Countdown UK. They had music performances. We famously, when it finished, we would always talk about, we are both TV producers, that we'd love to bring it back one day and just produce it and be in it and just enjoy it.
It was a true beautiful work of like late 90s, early noughties art, where you just could watch pop bands and cartoons. Sabrina, it was the best.
And also, if you like go back and watch Britney performances in the UK, they had big guests.
Yeah.
There's lots of like very specific and obscure Britney like features.
Yeah.
From that show.
So it's kind of not really worth talking too much about her TV hosting stuff, because it's, apart from SMTV, I kind of don't really care about that.
Are you going to bring up Size Zero?
Oh my god, I know. I
Just remembered this.
about that.
So one bit of TV work she did do was she did a documentary when, like 10 years ago, when size 0 was a thing, as in like people trying to get to size 0. She did a documentary where she put herself through a grueling. She's a very slender woman anyway, but she put herself through a grueling diet and
God,
training
I do
program
remember
to
this.
get into a size 0 dress, just to like prove a point. Not sure what the point was, but she proved something. Anyway, she did it. She got into the dress. But what was crazy is like halfway through the show, I just remember the best bit was she was so like faint on this diet that she put her phone in the fridge. She didn't know where she'd put it.
Was that on BBC Three? I bet it was.
Probably.
They loved that on that channel / network. That's another translation for you. So yeah, I won't talk too much about that, but I will say that just according to her Wikipedia, kind of extra side work, this is my absolute favorite thing I've ever read on anyone's Wikipedia.
Let's do it.
So this is about the year 2000. The same year, Louise was hired to sex up the 2000 National Egg Awareness Campaign.
I'm not sure what those things are called. What are they? Those round spherical food objects?
There's a picture of Louise. Eggs.
Oh, now I'm aware.
Gotta buy some eggs. I've seen Louise. So I just love that. And also, what we have glossed over is our absolute favourite Louise solo song.
It's called Two-Faced.
Two-Faced. It includes, iconically amongst mine and Ben's friendship, when we both realised how much we loved this song, we realised at both the start and finish of the song, there's some fun, like, just talky bits with her and some other women. And God, do the intro line.
So basically, this is like a crowd of women. They're all like, "Oh yeah, I can't believe she's done that. Oh, she's looking so big." And then Louise walks in the door and she says,
"Hi, girls,"
and they all go, "Hi, Louise," as if like they've just been caught, but they're covering it up.
Hi, girls.
And at the very end of the song, it goes back to the talking bit.
I'll be Louise at the end as well. I can't believe you said that about me.
Believe it, honey.
I can't believe you said that about me. Believe it, honey.
I really feel like the cornerstone of our friendship was built on "Hi, girls, hi, Louise," wasn't it?
Hi, girls. Hi, Louise.
We genuinely say it to each other, especially now I'm living with you. When you come home, you say "Hi, girls," and I'll shout "Hi, Louise" back to you. It makes me very happy. So, you know, there's not too much more. There's obviously kind of some personal life stuff. She basically married a footballer, which is the US equivalent is soccer. She married a kind of famous football player, but
What's interesting,
much
so
to say about that.
she married a famous football player. They were both as attractive and as interesting as one another.
Yes.
Take that for what you will.
yes.
We should, really wrap up Louise by just saying if you've ever had a personal encounter, Louise, and then we're going to ask who is the US equivalent of Louise.
Yes. Okay, so I've got two personal kind of encounters. One is not in real life, one is in real life. First one being Louise was my first actual kind of like female crush.
Oh.
So I basically became obsessed with her, and I used to collect stickers from Smash Hits magazine, which was like a pop magazine. I don't even know if they have that in this country or what the equivalent would be. I don't really know how it works.
Who knows? It's very influential. Side note, Smash Hits magazine once did a very big commercial with Billie Piper.
It always comes back to Billie Piper.
Everything comes back to Billie Piper.
And basically, I would collect every single Louise sticker that I could, and I had a kind of a pencil tin, which I would put all my kind of pencils in to take to school, and it had Louise on the front, the inside, at the bottom. Every conceivable surface was covered with a picture of her, and I used to tell. I think maybe I told my mum that I loved her But I didn't understand how I loved her. Obviously, now as a proud and out gay man, I understand how much I love her and what that means.
And as we've discussed, her music got you to that out and proud place.
Well, I mean, let's go round. Oh, it was the beginning of that song specifically, those disco strings. And then just, I've had a personal encounter with her when I used to work in a toy store back in London called the Early Learning Centre. I used to work in a very kind of posh part of London where we had quite a few famous people come in, and she came in and bought a wooden pirate ship for her child, and I'll report back and just say she was lovely. Absolute delight. A dream.
What a solid, you can't really fault a parent for buying a wooden set of anything for a child, can you?
Oh my God, the people that used to come in there, they would be like, they were disgusted with anything that was made of plastic. They
Where
used to
in
be like,
London was this?
Sloane Street, so in Chelsea.
So basically, the US equivalent, if we're talking about LA, it's kind of like Rodeo Drive.
Yeah. So, and people would be like, I'm not buying plastic toys for my child. And also, just another side note, because I was a student when I worked there, I once went to get some money out of the cash point, translation ATM in this country, and I didn't have enough funds to get any money for lunch. And then the woman behind me waiting to use the ATM, she was carrying 3 separate Prada shopping bags. And I went back to the shop and I cried in the stockroom about the state of my life compared to hers.
Oh, when I used to work in jobs like that, I used to have I would use my Boots Advantage card. Boots, the US equivalent would be CVS, and I would go and get a Boots meal deal. So basically, imagine in CVS when you're buying products and you get points. In the UK, you can spend those points to buy things in the store, and it was £3.60 to get a Boots meal deal, which was a Thai chicken wrap, a bag of carrots, and a bottle of water.
I feel like I just haven't heard the word Boots Advantage card. It makes me feel very strange hearing it.
I'm just going to give you
your personal...
my personal, a very quick one. As we said before, we both work in television production, and she came on a show. I cannot remember what the show was. All I remember is that she was as lovely as you'd expect. It's just so wonderfully bland and lovely. And I remember she said her brother was with her that day, and she basically pulled me aside afterwards at the end and said, "Do you think you can get my brother a job?" And her brother was just classic, very generically handsome, dumb, straight guy. And I was like,
perfect.
I was like, maybe Louise, I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, wrapping up Louise,
yes.
Can you tell me who you think, she's obviously a UK pop star and many other things as we've discussed, who do you think the US equivalent of Louise is?
Okay, so I think based on kind of a girl band start to a solo career to a media kind of career after that, I think that the US equivalent is Nicole Scherzinger.
Okay. I would hear that. I mean, Nicole, talent-wise and personality-wise, is a 15 compared to Louise's 7.
She's just, humming along at a 6.5.
Yeah.
But she's, that's my opinion, I think, would be Nicole Scherzinger. What would you think?
Well, I have a US hair equivalent of Louise. Because Louise has always had just very nice hair. It's always kind of been golden and very solid, and it's kind of just always looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
I would say her US hair equivalent would be Lauren Conrad.
Oh, you are completely right.
Do you know what I mean?
She's almost the essence of Lauren Conrad in terms of just being kind of lovely and just kind of basic, but also just lovely. And yeah, you're right, actually. I wonder if we could just fuse the two together. So we could say the US equivalent of Louise is Lauren Conrad meets Nicole Scherzinger.
You're welcome, America.
You're welcome, America. This is You're Welcome, America, the podcast that explains what the bloody hell Brits are banging on about. So in every episode, we're going to translate British pop culture for America and American pop culture for Britain. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So, Ben, it is your topic.
Okay,
what are you flapping your gums about today?
So we've talked about Louise, who is from the UK. I want to go to America, where we now live, and I want to talk about Tesla.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so Tesla, for those who don't know, is basically a very fancy schmancy, futuristic, yet kind of dated car company. Tesla are very high-end electric cars, and I think since moving to California, the land of the car, I've really become very aware of them.
Yeah, I have to say I didn't know of their existence until I got here. And suddenly it's been ever present that they exist.
Well, the reason I want to talk about them this week is because they've been in the news. I'm just looking at Forbes.com. Don't mind me. Once again, Forbes.com is a source you're never going to hear ever again on this podcast.
What are you talking about? It's my go-to place for news.
I would say that the UK equivalent of Forbes.com, probably Financial Times. I don't know. I don't know those words very well. Anyway, basically what's been going on this week is that apparently, let me get my notes. Let me get my notes back. But apparently, Tesla is the only car company growing, but its stock fell 8%. Again, I don't know what a lot of that means, but it does
Stocks,
mean stocks, percentages.
Oh yeah, no, perfect.
A number.
Odds.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
But I will say that Tesla is worth discussing. So here's the thing. I was back in Glasgow recently, in Scotland, where I'm from, and I happened to ask someone who actually works in the car industry. I was like, oh, how do people feel about electric cars here? And everyone just laughed in my face. Everyone was like, no. And here's what's interesting about Tesla is that they've kind of made electric cars cool and sexy.
Yes.
So I live in an area of LA called Mount Washington, which I would describe as, if you're thinking about London, it's kind of like Clapton, up and coming, he says, hopefully. And okay, it's it's a fine area, but there's still some people here who don't have who have less money than others, I would say. And a young couple parked up in front of the coffee shop in a Tesla, like a really high-end white Tesla. Everything in the Tesla was white. They opened the gull wing doors, the doors that go up, kind of went. They both stepped out pretty much wearing like...
All white?
All white. they kind of looked like the biohazard people from like E.T. when they go to get E.T. from the house to get like their child at the back seat. I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. But the point is Tesla have made electric cars sort of cool and something that people want.
So they're technically not... They're American. They're not American because their owner is South African,
I think he has... We're going to get to Elon Musk, the owner, but I think he has American citizenship. But here's the thing. It's California has really embraced Tesla cars in a way. I saw one when I was back in Glasgow, but here they're sort of everywhere.
Yeah.
What I love about them is that when you go into them, they've got a giant sort of central iPad, which I don't know, it's like the brain of the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably don't even call them cars. My other favorite thing about Tesla is the logo.
Oh, yes.
We need to discuss that logo. It kind of looks like a logo from a Joel Schumacher Batman movie from back in the day. Futuristic, but also wonderfully dated.
Yes. The only Batman movies that we recognize as canon.
Absolutely.
Will be Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
The only Batman movies that we will discuss on this podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You will never hear about The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, etc., etc. Couldn't care less. I don't need a gritty reboot backstory. I need Uma Thurman, Alicia Silverstone, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And a budget.
And a budget.
I think I was in Planet Hollywood in London about 10 years ago, and they had a prop from Mr. Freeze, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
One of the best characters... There's like a compilation you can watch on YouTube of his ice puns of Mr. Freeze, and the worst one being, let's kick some ice. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. And there's so many people in that movie that you forget that. Do you remember who played his frozen wife, who was frozen in that like bubbling frozen liquid?
Well, probably not, because it sounds like she didn't have anything to do in the movie.
No, she had a completely non-speaking part. It was Elle Macpherson. I don't know why that information is stored in my head, but it is.
But do you know what? Think about what she was like in her Friends cameo that just went on for far too many episodes, because she was struggling.
Yeah.
You know?
You're right. That hair wasn't going to get her through anything, was it? Through an acting.
So, back to Tesla.
Oh, yes, that's what we're talking about.
The zero emissions car company. We need to talk about the fact that its founder, Elon Musk. Oh, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
So I did a little bit of research on him, and what I also love. Now, he's from South Africa originally. We're probably being very rude in talking about his name, which clearly isn't a name. It's just a sound.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. But do you know what his brother and sister were called? Wait a minute. Let me just find them, because I'm pretty excited about them. Okay.
Elon.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you're never...
Proton Musk. Neutron Musk.
Those are actually the names of my future kids, if I'm ever to have any.
Yes.
No, he has a younger brother called Kimball and a younger sister called Tosca.
Oh, I like that.
I like Tosca.
Yeah.
Great name. So
Tosca
I did a bit of
salad.
Tosca.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Sorry, I just burped. That was
What-
really
what-
disgusting. I apologize.
What are you burping up?
Just a little bit of coffee that I'm having.
Oh.
Feeling a little bit weak because of the aforementioned bachelor party from last
Oh,
night,
yeah.
so I needed a little boost.
Yeah, fair enough.
His margaritas were, oh my god.
I tell you, I've told you that in this country, you do not, like, the spirits, the way they are
Yeah.
poured, is what I would call a Spanish measure.
Yeah. Well, it was that combined with I was guzzling Prosecco on the party bus in a way that I was almost desperate for it. I was just gulping it down and being like, I need more, even though I didn't. It was a mistake. Anyway, back to Tesla.
So Elon Musk, a few things I found out about his childhood is now I have mixed feelings about the words that are about to come out of my mouth, but here we go. Musk was severely bullied throughout his childhood and was once hospitalized when a group of boys threw him down a flight of stairs.
What?
And then smashed his head into the pavement until he lost consciousness.
Oh my god.
Fucking horrific is that? I'm really terrified and I feel for him until I read the next sentence.
Oh.
He later revealed that he had to get a nose job to repair the damage. Just get the nose job. You don't need the backstory, Elon. You've got the money, get the nose job.
I honestly thought that the next part of that story was going to be that he then built a machine, like a robot that went and murdered the people that attacked him. Zero emissions robot, obviously.
Yeah, zero emissions.
yeah,
I mean, that's
solar
probably
powered.
happening right now. It's probably just a machine that's slowly killing them throughout time. So Elon, he's a very eccentric guy. It also says on his Wikipedia page, politically, he describes himself as half Republican, half Democrat. Ugh, sure.
What does that mean?
It means Elon. What do you get if you get half Republican, half a Democrat? You get Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. I also feel like he's a sort of very eccentric CEO that you could only get when you've got a company that is trying to do zero emission cars, build a tunnel system called the Hyperloop, also have a company called
What?
Oh, you don't know about the Hyperloop?
What's the
Hyperloop.
Oh, Hyperloop.
Yeah.
In your
Loop.
accent.
Oh.
Where you say loop.
Hyperloop.
The Hyperloop.
Welcome to the Hyperloop. Yeah, he's trying to build a giant tunnel that vehicles that can just be shot through. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because one day he got stuck in traffic and he had an idea and he just ran with it.
Isn't that the exact thing that happens in the remake of Total Recall? Is that with Colin Farrell and Kate Beckinsale? And there's
Kate Beckinsale's hair extensions.
speaking of hair acting for you, Elle McPherson did not do it for her. Kate Beckinsale's hair will get her through absolutely anything, including the masterpiece Van Helsing. I don't know how we're going to discuss that, but at some point we have to because I love that movie.
Who do you think the US equivalent of Kate Beckinsale is?
Oh my god.
Oh, I think I've got it.
Is it? Oh, is it Jessica Biel?
I think she's more interesting than basic Jessica Biel.
Yeah, I was just thinking about hair.
I kind of think of Eva Longoria.
Oh, yes.
And the only reason being is I feel like Eva Longoria, Victoria Beckham, and Kate Beckinsale for a while, they just all hung out with their hair.
Yeah.
And just looked really glossy and a giant, expensive goblet of red wine and wore like a pristine pantsuit.
I believe that I have the theory that Kate Beckinsale has it written into her contract that she has her hair the same in every movie. Whatever period, whatever character, whatever she's doing, she will always have that same hairstyle.
doing well for
and
her.
she should. She looks great.
Yeah, good hair. So he also, Elon Musk also wants to colonize Mars.
Okay.
And my favorite thing about him, which he had a line of flamethrowers. We won't get into that.
No.
Oh, whatever. It was like such a broy novelty thing. He decided to make some flamethrowers.
Who's buying them?
Yeah, I
What
know.
for?
Yeah, throwing flames? No clue. Lighting a fire? I don't know. But my favorite thing about him is that he's a bit wary and doesn't really trust AI.
Oh.
Which I think is very honest of him. It's a bit like if Elon Musk, who's like ahead of all these really terrifying, very futuristic companies, is a bit like, I'm not sure about AI. I think they might kill us. That makes me scared.
Yeah, me too, because one of the features of a Tesla is that it can drive itself.
Now, I feel like you have a Tesla story that you want to tell us.
Well, let me tell you something. Before I moved to this country, I didn't even know what a fucking Tesla was. And as you can account for, I'm terrible with cars. I have almost a blindness with them. Testament being when we went for that hike in Griffith Park and I just kept trying to get into several different cars thinking it was our friend Andrew's. Because I can't even remember the colour of people's cars. I don't care.
What do you think the UK equivalent of Griffith Park is? I would say in London.
Richmond Park?
Richmond Park, or maybe Hampstead Heath in London.
Oh, Hampstead Heath because it's more hilly. Yeah, you're right.
There you go. But tell me about your Tesla experience.
So I had no idea what Tesla was, and then I kind of came here and I just couldn't escape it. Then a friend of mine wanted to test drive a Tesla, so I leapt at that opportunity and went to the Tesla test drive place, Tesla drive place. You're welcome.
I feel like it's just like a port.
What I was very disappointed about with my Tesla experience was it looked like a normal car dealership.
No.
The doors, I felt like I had to push the door open. Mm-hmm. The door didn't even slide automatically. I went to the toilet in there, or the bathroom, whatever you want to say in this country. Restroom. It was standard. The toilet didn't even flush itself. No. I had to use a handle. I was very annoyed. I wanted a machine to just extract the urine from my body. I didn't want to have to do it all manually.
And douse you with a vapor that would like clean your hands. Yeah. That isn't water.
What I did like is that they had Tesla branded paper cups to drink your water out of. Again, though, not eco paper cups. Thinking about that. Elon.
Can't take those to Mars.
Absolutely not. And then, we went for a test drive in this Tesla, and it was very odd. It felt like being in, the equivalent I can think of is the kind of spaceship cars that they drive in that Sandra Bullock and Wesley Snipes movie.
A Demolition Man.
Demolition Man, yes. It felt like I was in a Demolition Man vehicle.
Can I tell you very quickly my Sandra Bullock story?
Yeah, go on.
So basically, I worked in a TV show. Sandra Bullock came on, and she was wonderful and great, amazing. At the end of the show, she'd had such a great time, and we're walking out, and I just said to her, Sandra, can I ask you a question? She was like, sure. And I was like, it's a question about Demolition Man. And she was like, uh-huh. She was like, wait, you want to ask about the 3 seashells? How the 3 seashells work? And I was like, yeah, I do. She's like, I don't know how they work, but no one ever thinks about the outer edge of the shell and how they're serrated. There could be some scraping action with that. And then she disappeared into her dressing room.
Oh. Was she as beautiful and wonderful and amazing as I want her to be?
Oh, she's just amazing. If you don't know the 3 seashells, go watch Demolition Man. It is a wonderful movie.
And then go and watch The Net, because it's another great movie she's done. Just watch loads of Sandra Bullock movies while you were sleeping. No, Anyway, I feel like I've completely lost the plot.
You're talking about your Tesla experience.
Yes, I felt like I was in like a futuristic kind of space car. It was all like glass on the roof, so you kind of felt like it was like flying through the air. There's no panel, like control panel display. It's all displayed on this like large kind of iPad thing that you were describing.
Love it.
The best part was there's a little like icon of the car, and then every time another car passes you, it like animates into like a kind of a grey car shape and disappears past the little picture of your car. So it's literally how you'd imagine from like a 2000s like future movie. It's just like creating virtual cars, and like if a car comes too close behind you, it's got all these like sensors. But the scariest part was you can put it on like a cruise control where it drives itself. And my friend, he actually got so scared that he kept taking it out of automatic mode because we were on the freeway, and he was like, I don't trust this machine. And now that I know that Elon himself doesn't trust AI, how are we meant to believe that these cars can drive us? What's going to happen? They're going to just take over the world and not let us out of the cars and trap us in there forever.
So your friend bought the car, yeah?
He didn't. I think he actually might, but I'm pretty excited for him to get it because it was very fun to drive it. It was very smooth. I've
also once been in an Uber service in Seattle where all their cars are Teslas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, pretty impressive. Anyway, just to round this off, I want to say about Elon, one of my other favorite things about him recently was that I'm just going to read this headline that came out this week. Tesla leak reveals Elon Musk allegedly threatened to nuke ex-employee.
Oh.
Yeah. What a man.
Does he have that technology?
I mean, he's not in his bathrooms and car showrooms, but I think up his sleeve.
A nuke technology for the bathrooms.
Maybe his new nose can do it. I don't know. His nuke nose. So I've been talking about Tesla and Elon Musk. So my question, is from South Africa, but it's a very American thing. My question is, who do you think the UK equivalent of both Tesla and Elon Musk is? And I have an answer.
Okay, so I feel like there's not like a prominent inventor type person from the UK.
Well, you're wrong. So basically, I would say that the UK equivalent of Elon Musk is James Dyson. James Dyson, who famously just...
Sir James Dyson.
Oh, is he?
I think he's a sir. Am I making that up?
I mean, You should probably just have a quick Google.
Have a quick look.
So basically, he's the guy who invented like the cordless vacuum cleaner and all those Airblade hand dryers you see in bathrooms. So while America gets these like insane, amazing cars which can pretty much fly and I don't know, do nuke people, we get like a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, you can hoover up that cat hair.
Oh yeah, we should say a vacuum cleaner in the US we'd call it a Hoover.
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 Gonna hoover it up.
Yeah. So yeah,
He is a sir.
He is. Oh, there he is. Deserved it. I mean, the number of vacuum bags he's saved from the dump.
So what's the secret to this cordless vacuum?
Well, it's cordless for a start, which means you don't have to unwind the cord, find a plug to put it in.
I like the idea that we're talking about like a sexy car inventor, and then you look at a picture of James Dyson, he kind of looks like Dick Van Dyke.
That's the UK for you.
Like an old Dick Van Dyke.
So Tesla, the UK equivalent is the cordless vacuum cleaner, and Elon Musk, the UK equivalent is James Dyson. You're welcome, America. Okay, this has been your Welcome, America. We finish off every episode by playing a quickfire game of Welcome, Not Welcome. We're going to mention very quickly UK or American things, and we have to say whether we think they're welcome or not welcome. Fraser, you're up first. Go.
You're welcome or not welcome. Sunday roast. So
I would say it's welcome.
I'm going to say not welcome.
We should explain what Sunday roast is.
So,
It's, in the UK, it's basically when you have like a big roast chicken or a big bit of meat, and you have roast potatoes and Yorkshire puddings and all the trimmings.
Roasted vegetables and gravy, which I know gravy is something, they have a different, gravy means something different out here.
We can't get into that.
I can't quite understand what it is. But yeah, a Sunday roast is very traditional. It'll be like very like family cooked at home. Or if you live in London, you go to a pub and you're like, oh, we'll go to a pub and have a Sunday roast. That's my problem with it. Why I'm saying it's not welcome is because nothing tastes as good as the Sunday roast you would have as a child. So then you have all these stupid pub roasts on like a Sunday that never match up to it.
No.
They don't taste good. And it's kind of just like having a Christmas dinner or like a Thanksgiving dinner every Sunday. And I think it's kind of insane.
I think it's completely welcome. And I will say that when I was at university, every Sunday I would go, actually no, even on Sundays, because I went in North England in York, they love a roast up there. It probably comes from there. Every day at the local like canteen, they would do a roast. And it was from a part of the canteen called Neat Meats. Neat meats. And I'd be like, I'm just gonna have a roast today. So I think they're very welcome. Thank you.
So would
much.
you say the equivalent would be like a Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah,
to
completely.
explain it to Americans.
Imagine having a Thanksgiving dinner every Sunday. Welcome. Okay, my next topic is the word dreich.
I'm gonna say, huh?
That is.
I'd like a definition and used in a sentence, please.
Definition, please. Oh, it was pouring with rain. It was so dreich that day. So basically, dreich is a Gaelic word in Scotland. It kind of means, actually, pouring with rain's not the best. It's like in between pouring with rain and drizzling, and it's kind of cold and grey and wet, but it's not super cold. It's just a bit damp. And you say, oh, it's dreich.
I'm gonna say welcome. It sounds nice.
Well, I'd say it's welcome too.
It's got a lovely quality to it. And
I like a word that fills a gap that no other word can do.
yes, absolutely. I feel like there is a word for that, but I'm not sure what it is. And I do have a degree in English. Oh, it's English literature though, so I can just read books at a degree level.
Yeah.
And film studies actually, so I can read books and watch films at a degree level, so don't worry about it.
Ideally, watch a movie of a book adaptation, and then you don't have to even do the book.
Absolutely perfect.
That's just called saving time and being sensible.
Oh, and just, this is a complete tangent, kind of, but I've just remembered recently that for my dissertation, I got to write a film screenplay, and it came back to me the other day about my film screenplay. It makes me want to set fire, like, self-combust with shame and embarrassment. I wrote what I thought was a really groundbreaking gay rom-com. Then one of our lectures, or one of our seminars, we had to come in and all bring in our first like few pages, and we all read them aloud. They got read aloud in the class, and then we all critiqued each other. And mine was read aloud, and the lecturer said, does this remind you of anything? And everyone said, Bridget Jones's Diary and Sex and the City. And I basically just completely ripped off both of those things and written the worst sounding movie.
For a future episode, I would definitely like to read that, because do you know what you've just mentioned? You've mentioned something that is both American and British in one.
Oh, Bridget Jones's
Diary in the City. Please bring that back.
Oh my God. And then I don't know what I'm telling. This is too much information. There was a girl in my class who did a gangster, like a Reservoir Dogs ripoff. And she had a tattoo of a gun on her hip. And her nickname was Trigger. I hope she's listening. God bless you, Trigger. You're a wild, wild character.
Right, what's your next
Sorry,
one? Welcome or
I'm really
not
going
welcome?
off.
What is it?
So, welcome or not welcome, Marks and Spencer.
So welcome.
Oh, welcome.
Marks and Spencer. The US equivalent is probably maybe
Whole Foods?
No,
we have Whole Foods.
Maybe more Gelson's.
Yeah, Gelson's.
It's kind of just
Yeah.
like a high-end, very British supermarket. All their food is their own brand.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you know my feelings towards the Marks and Spencer's prawn mayo sandwich. Prawn, US equivalent, shrimp. Or Scotch egg.
Oh my God, you're listening to my actual nightmare foods. Would be a prawn and mayonnaise mixture or a Scotch egg.
Or what about a prawn cocktail packet of crisps?
Oh, I'll eat that. I'll eat a prawn flavoring. I just won't eat an actual prawn.
Got
because
it.
I'm like a child.
Also, the Marks and Spencer's birthday cakes.
Oh, lovely.
So dense, so sugary.
I tell you what I don't appreciate.
What?
That every time you work in an office in the UK and it's someone's birthday, someone goes out to Marks and Spencer's and buys that fucking Colin the Caterpillar. No. Chocolate cake is a travesty and should not be forced on anyone. I don't want to taste your disgusting Colin the Caterpillar cake with those horrible, it's just like chocolate with like a chocolate swirl inside
It's
it.
kind of like a cake, which is kind of like what's that roll you get at Christmas?
Swiss roll.
It's kind of like a
Yule log.
A Yule log. It's basically a Yule log covered in chocolate with a caterpillar face in the front. It's like a thing that people think are really cute. It's not cute. It's not welcome. But Marks and Spencer's is welcome.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, my next one is multiple time zones. PST, Eastern time. What the fuck is going on? Welcome or not welcome?
Not welcome.
Not welcome. And you know why? It means I have to do maths.
Yeah, maths.
Maths.
I can't handle it. It's to be from a country as small as the UK, to then have to think that you're in the same landmass as someone else and they are in a different time zone is too much for my brain to handle. Combined with the fact that I now live on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. My mum lives in the Caribbean, which is another time zone. My dad lives in the UK, which is another time zone. My brother works in Iraq, which is another time zone. I have to think of 5 different time zones when I want to call different members of my family.
Your brain is just like an abacus with
Actually,
all the things just swirling back and forth.
I actually can't speak to my brother on the phone in Iraq, translation Iraq in this country, because there is no time that both of us are awake at the same time.
Wow.
It's mind-blowing. So not welcome time zones. Just time zones in general. Why don't we just all have the same time?
Or let's just get rid of no time. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Why aren't we just all in the same time? Oh, because it's nighttime and daytime in different parts of the world. That is one of the most stupid things I've ever said. Oh my God.
It's like earlier today
I
when
truly meant that.
It's a Saturday today when we're recording and we were in a shop and you asked the store, do you open on Saturdays? And I'm like, Frazer, it's Saturday today.
Oh my God. I'm highly intelligent, guys. Just remember
the wheels
that.
are really coming off. Right, have you got your final one?
I've got 2 more actually.
2 more, hit me.
Welcome or not welcome, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
I love a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Welcome. And where should it live? In the freezer.
Oh yes, you
Straight
are right.
from the freezer.
What's the equivalent? I don't think there is an equivalent. Peanut butter related chocolate just it's not a thing in the UK. It's imported.
Freddo?
A Freddo.
Just like a small snackable little bit of chocolate.
Snackable filled thing. You're right. It would be a Freddo.
A Freddo is basically a frog-shaped.
It's a frog-shaped chocolate. Oh my God.
Nothing more to explain than that.
And again, another side note tangent. Did you know that my mum used to work for Cadbury's when I was a teenager, like an early teenager, and I was incredibly overweight because she would just have boxes and boxes of Cadbury's chocolate, and in our cupboard under the stairs, we were always like, go to the cupboard under the
Well,
stairs.
it's cool under there. The chocolate won't melt.
So there's a few different types of chocolate bar that I can't eat, Cadbury's chocolate bar that I can't eat because I gorged myself as a little fat teenager on them.
Was a Freddo one of them?
No, it was Time Out, Double Decker, and Whisper Mint.
That's fair. Whisper Mint, no.
It's no Whisper Gold.
Okay, final one. But my final one for you is, and it's a trick question, pickle. Welcome or not welcome?
Not welcome.
Trick question. Pickle can mean a few different things. Didn't think about that, did you?
Yeah, I did. I thought a pickle, the vegetable, pickle, the spread that you put on things, a pickled something. I don't want any part of any of them. I hate pickled things. Disgusting.
A pickle, UK equivalent, a gherkin.
Oh.
Pickle, and also when you say pickle in the UK, it's like a jar of like a spread that has a pickle tang to it. I say it's wonderfully welcome, great with some cheese, and an American pickle, great with a burger, adds a tang, adds an acidic tang that I want when I'm eating some meat.
When you have to describe something as an acidic tang, you know you're in deep trouble with. I actually feel like a bit sick. Do you remember? Did you ever? I worked in a pub and we used to sell pickled eggs, which was just essentially like like a boiled peeled egg floating in vinegar.
That's not welcome.
That is so disgusting.
Not welcome. It's in my head. I questioned. I wonder if those eggs are free range. Of course they're not. They're being sold from like the top shelf behind a bar.
Oh, they definitely weren't. In the pub, I worked in such a weird pub. I worked in a pub in the middle of the countryside, and I was like not only the only gay in the village, I was the only person who wasn't white in the village. I was a lot.
You were ticking boxes.
I was a lot for those locals. It was crusty old men propped at the bar, and then I was just like, "Hi guys,
pickled egg."
Yeah,
it's not a euphemism.
Pickled egg. Oh god, it was very strange.
Right, what's your final topic? Welcome or not welcome?
My final topic: welcome or not welcome? Coachella, specifically the Coachella Festival. I'm gonna say a big fat not welcome.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why.
Well, you've been to
I've
it.
attended the Coachella Festival, and actually, despite having probably the most fun I've ever had at that festival, it was really fun. The thought of going back there fills me with panic and stress and worry.
Half of me says welcome, half of me says not welcome. I've never been. I've just been to the surrounding ridiculous parties where we just drank things and laughed at people. So if you're saying welcome, I'm saying no. If you're saying not welcome, I'm saying welcome to balance out, and we're going to be in disagreement.
The best part of Coachella. So before I left, festivals in the UK are such like a thing, and everyone who goes to them, it's very much people's identity. Like, I love festivals.
Oh, and they keep all those wristbands on throughout the whole year. All those like mangy wristbands.
Every person said to me that was very festival-y. It was said to me, Coachella's just really like sanitized and really like just like corporate. Like you can't even like walk around and drink. You have to drink in these like drinking areas, these like roped off pens.
You proved them wrong.
And let me tell you something. We got there. These roped off pen drinking areas were amazing, cordoned off places with bars, seating, lovely little parasols to sit. They were like these paradise areas where you just like lounged under a parasol and watched a band. So the drinking areas at Coachella, very welcome. And you had to be over 21 to be in there. So all the douchebaggy, like, 17-year-olds that were, like, you know, being like, I'm at Coachella, like, take a picture of me next to the Ferris wheel for Instagram.
They were in their own pen, weren't they?
Yeah, they were awful. And also, I got shushed during a FK Twigs performance because I was very drunk and me and my friend were imitating how she was singing and how she was performing, because she was basically doing like a witch performance, and it was so ghastly that someone turned around and shushed us. It was wild. I've got more things from Coachella, but I'll save that for another time.
I think that's going to have to a whole other topic. So thank you for listening. This has been Your Welcome America, the podcast that explains what the bloody hell Brits are banging on about. I'm Ben.
I'm Frazer.
You're welcome.
You're so far up your ass, I think you can smell your own shit!
Where are you from, Josie?
South Shields.
I thought.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
But let me be clear.
I enjoy cooking bacon and stuff, working with flour.